There you go, Kate, dancing once again.
You have to dance to the intro. I love it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on another edition of Extreme Health Radio. And let's see, we are doing shows 4 days a week right now on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, feel free to do that, extremehealthradio.com/Facebook. And we are broadcasting worldwide. Can you believe it, Kate? In over 120 countries, I think, last time I checked.
Serious?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's grown a lot because I remember when it was like 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
cool.
growing. It's just amazing. So,
thank you, guys.
Yeah, so we're broadcasting worldwide from Southern California. It's a nice sunny day here. And today is Monday, April 8th, 2013. And this is episode number 83. So if you want to find the transcription or show notes or anything the doctor mentions, books, websites, whatever, you can find that on extremehealthradio.com/83. And let me just talk about a little bit about our upcoming show schedule. On Wednesday, we have Hannah Crum from kombuchacamp.com, and she's going to be teaching us how to make kombucha.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait for that one.
I learned all how to do it from her. She puts out really great information. Then we have on Thursday, April 11th, Dana Martin from danamartin.com, and she's going to be talking about unschooling.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's another one I'm stoked on.
That's going to be a fun show.
Cool.
Unschooling. And then on Monday, April 15th, we have Dr. Bradley Nelson.
Tax day.
Tax day.
Good guy to have on tax day.
He's going to be talking about his book, The Emotion Code, and how the emotions and energy plays a role in our healing. So that's going to be a really good show as well. And today we have Dr. Robert Cassar. Oh, I want to tell you first, our show is brought to you by Amazon.
Right.
And Amazon brings lots of shows to people. But it
brings people together.
It brings people together. But we are supported. One of the ways is through Amazon. So if you'd like to support us, just go to extremehealthradio.com/Amazon, and that will just redirect you to their webpage, and you can purchase, and we'll get a little commission. So that'd be a great way to do that. Anyway, today we have Dr. Robert Cassar. He's a toxicologist, parasitologist, chiropractor, and just a wild guy, just a really, really amazing individual out there in Hawaii. And I first heard about Dr. Robert Cassar actually from David Wolf a few years ago, about 4 years ago, and saw some crazy videos he was doing on the yoga trapeze thing. And
I remember you sharing this with me.
Yeah, he's a really, really great guy. So, Robert, yesterday you were out swimming in the volcanic pools, right?
Yes. Then just wanted to can you hear me well?
I can hear you perfect, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. And you're in 120 countries, and that's beautiful, because that's what we're trying to do, is get a evolutionary worldwide event going here, getting people to wake up to a new level of existence, and I'm really glad that people like yourselves are doing these, because I know what it takes to do radio shows. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of planning. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So hats off to you, just to let you know that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. We love the same as you. We just like to empower people and just let them know they can heal themselves.
Well, you know what it is most of it's just like yesterday on my Sunday. And that's the sun day. That's the day you want to take care of yourself. Throughout the week, we beat ourselves down going to work 5 days a week, 8-10 hours a day, eating sometimes not the best things, drinking hardly any solution, sometimes living inside a office that is completely unnatural, from the air that we breathe, air condition or heat, depending on where you live, to the lights that we have above our heads, the 60-cycle fluorescence. And Sunday's my day where I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I do about 150 ounces of liquids every day, no matter what. But as soon as I wake up in the morning, I turn my far infrared sauna on.
Oh, wow.
This is my day to go ahead and unload the week. And even though I moved from Los Angeles, from Moore Park, which is a pretty clean place. It's 60 miles north of L.A. And I moved from there because I just couldn't take the chemtrails anymore and all the pollution and, electromagnetics, Wi-Fi, and just everything that's just... Once you leave it for a month and you come back, you notice it. If not, you're just living in it, so you don't really notice it after a while. But came out to the Big Island here, and we moved out to
How long ago?
I've been out here almost 2 years now.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
And I chose the Big Island because we have a 30-acre lychee farm here.
Oh, I love those things.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're really cool because the lychees, and it's a 30-acre farm, which means we've got one of the largest lychee farms in Hawaii. And we're right on this coast called Hamakua, which translates to God's breath. And because it's the cleanest air in the world, they have these little sensors all over the world, and we have waterfalls, 10 varieties of bananas, 10 varieties of avocados, oranges, lemons. So this place, I bought the place from a guy that actually was a crazy nut on food. So I'm a nut on organic food. So it worked right real well.
I love that.
You're killing me right now. This is a dream.
Yeah.
This is a dream.
So, and we also do vacation rentals for people that want to come up here, and we do small retreats and stuff like that. Not too many, 10 people or so. So we keep it sort of cozy.
Nice.
And so when I wake up in the morning, I put my far infrared heater on, and I go on that thing for an hour, and I sweat 5 pounds of water out of me.
Oh my God.
Serious?
And 5 pounds. And I put on these solutions that I have, magnesium chloride, fulvic acid, and I use this technique I call it gouaching. Some people call it, I've gotten in trouble for saying gua sha because I've had some people call me up and actually threaten me. They're saying, don't use that word because that's what we teach in our school, and you're showing people secrets.
No.
Oh, wow.
How funny.
Hey, you know what? By the way, we just interviewed Nick Stern, Nature Boy. He says to say hi.
Yeah. No, Nick was over here for about a week a few months ago.
Yeah. He
So
said,
cool.
make sure to tell Dr. Cassar I said hi. So I said, I will do that.
He used my steam room every day. He loved it.
That's awesome. So you sweat out 5 pounds you sit in there for an hour. That's crazy.
Yeah, your pores. Once your pores are open, I go in, and at first when I used to go in my unit there, it took me about 20 minutes before I started to sweat because everybody's pores are closed. You have thousands and thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of pores, and each pore has a cord of about 4 feet, and it goes into the lymph system. And so if you think that you look on your skin and you see a little hole, it's a pore, and it's got a 4-foot cord that goes into an area of you that if that pore is open, it can detoxify or let go of the accumulated junk. And so utilizing, just cleaning yourself from the inside out isn't enough. You have to do it from the outside in. And so I use different solvents. I put magnesium chloride. We have a special magnesium chloride solution that, we also have a superfood wholesale company where people can order all this lifestyle transitional stuff on the internet direct, free shipping, and it's all super discount. And it's not just foods or, it's a variety of things that we have accumulated that people need on their transition because we do healthy lifestyle transitions. And no matter what level you're at, you just exchange your products over. You don't care if it's from tampons. Tampons, by the time you're 50 years old, you have 5,000 tampons that a woman uses. And usually those tampons are not what you'd call clean organic material.
Wow, no way.
5,000 by the time you're 50.
5,000.
Oh.
So figure it out.
Yeah.
You add
scary.
that up and it adds up quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, we didn't mention your website. We need to mention that. It is Earth Shift Products. You have a lot of different websites, which we'll link to on this show page, but this one you're talking about is earthshiftproducts.com, right?
Exactly. Earth and then SHIFT products. And the reason being we called it Earth Shift because the Earth is shifting, and it's not so much shifting the Earth, but the consciousness of the people, just like the book The New Earth from Eckhart Tolle. It's a good book for people to read. There's a lot of metaphysical things happening on this planet right now. A lot of books talking about where your mind may want to expand to, just changing the ways that we think that the world, is running. And so there's a lot of metaphysical behind the physical. And so a lot of what we do is we try to bring up the physical to the meta.
Wow.
And so we're like rubber to the road. What's the best way to transform yourself? First, you have to change your mind a little bit.
Right.
And then you get from there. Then it's what we call the 180-day terrain modification program, which is what I put into my lifestyle all the time, and I share with people 21 days at a time on how to do it. You go 21 days, and then you go off 7 days, and then you take another slice at it for 21 days. And so my weekend, my Sunday, is all day taking care of me. You said, hey, how was that at that volcanically heated warm ponds? Well, it's my day.
Wow.
So I get out in the sun. I clean. First thing I do is when I wake up in the morning, I clean my skin with an alcohol solution. And we've got hundreds. I've got about 300 videos on YouTube. And we've organized a lot of them on Earth Shift Study Group YouTube. And people can go there, and it's all free. People go on, and it's biological, and it's got to be, really simple for people to upgrade their life. It can't be too complicated. It's got to be, to be step at a time.
Right.
And so a lot of the videos that I've put over there, some people say, oh, you're too complicated. Well, because there's a lot of stuff to do. Don't get overcompensated. Just take a little bit at a time, and just like you're doing. We all change day by day, optimize ourselves.
So, Doctor, a while back, I think you originally got into the health kick, didn't you? From you were in a really bad car crash. Is that right?
Ooh.
Yes. No, I got in 1997. I got into a massive car accident. $50,000 of damage to my car. It tells you how much damage was.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So at that time, were you interested at all in health, or were you not even aware of health as much?
No, I was always into health, but I wasn't really into regenerational health. I was, first started out as a doctor of chiropractic, then I got into parasitology because I found out that everybody's loaded full of these creatures, and it's like, what the heck? That's one of the causes of sickness is these creatures, and it's not even the creatures living inside us, but they poop inside us.
Right. Some people talk about how the parasites, they'll talk about how other people will talk about parasites, and they'll say, well, these are just things that we should live with, and we need to be in homeostasis with them because there's no way to get rid of all of them. But you're not saying that. You're saying that some of these things are the cause of lots of disease and different health issues, right?
Not even. This is not what I think I know. I know this is true. Think of cancer as a parasite, yeast, mold, and fungus, and it lives in a terrain that, of course, lets it become more of itself. And so we, instead of trying to kill, I used to kill everything as a hunter. I don't eat flesh anymore. I stopped eating it about 15 years ago. And that was one of the things I found out. To regenerate yourself, you have to change a lot of different departments of yourself. And so I went from parasitology, and I started killing things. But that's not what you do. You don't kill anything in your body. What you do is you transform them as they transformed you. They live inside our bodies because of a certain level of vibration or frequency. So then I got into toxicology, because that's the reason why they're there, is because of toxicity. Aluminum, cadmium, mercury, lead, arsenic, thallium, stainless steel, insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, plasticides, all this stuff that accumulates in our lymph glands, in our flesh garment, as I call it. It's not really a body. It's an unknowable machine. When I went to medical school, I cut up lots of these bodies, and nobody, just so you know, if you talk to people that call themselves authorities, they're joking themselves. Nobody knows what this machine is.
Right.
Nope. It's unknowable. And you can't fix it. It fixes itself. But you must take out what is not necessary in it and give it what it needs. It needs superconductive minerals, and it needs a lot of oils. And it's not just like one type of oil. You have engine oil in your car, don't you?
Right.
Okay, well, don't you also have hydraulic oil?
Right.
Okay, and hydraulic oil is what we need for our glands. And that's why the lychee farm, the guy that I bought this from, the lychees are special, because when you find out, like, why is chlorella special? Why is lychee special? Or goji berries, meaning goji, life force, or these specialized items, is because they have polysaccharides in them.
And those things are the name of the game, right? Polysaccharides.
Well, there's the oil to your glands, your sperm and different salivational fluids, and the glands need polysaccharides to function. So that's why a lot of monks say, hold your you know what, okay, and don't let that seed go, because if you do, you're going to dry yourself out. And that's one of the major reasons why a lot of the Japanese people, they love lychee. We don't even know what lychee is on the West Coast. They get it at a Chinese restaurant maybe for it's a little ice cream or something.
Right.
But
Wow.
it's a way. What we really need to do is, once we find out, is we're just trying to reestablish our normal levels of oxygen. There's this terrain modification is very simple. It's just, I'll go over just a couple of them. I'll just say them real fast. It's liquids, it's flow and conductivity, the lymph system, mineralization, foods, heavy metals, body fat, parasites, acids / corrosive or non-corrosive, electrical magnetic fields, oxygen, dental, sun. And the sun, of course, is the light, okay? Mm-hmm. Cellular alkalinity, plastics and plasticizers, pharmaceuticals, and pH. And pH is on the last of the scale here, because when you manipulate all the rest of these things, the pH, you'll see a lot of people really put a lot of precedence in pH, like the pH miracle,
right.
And a lot of different doctors that push this. pH changes as you change these other departments. You don't have to try to manipulate the pH. You'll manipulate these departments, and your pH will manipulate itself.
So isn't there a difference between like pH, the different pHs in your tissues, your organs, your blood, your saliva, your urine? There's different pHs for all of that, right?
Yeah, and pH, remember, is percentage of hydrogen when we get it down to what does it mean. And when we really go back another layer, what that means is it means conductivity. And our cells run at high performance at minus, not plus, but minus 70 millivolts. Okay, so let's say if your prostate has minus 25 millivolts, that means it has a very low pH, maybe a pH of 4. And even though your blood, because a lot of people check their blood, they go to the doctor, I went to the doctor, and the doctor, of course, is a variable of what's called an authority, because what I say is okay, Mr. Doctor, or Mrs. Doctor, take off your clothes and show me that you know anything about toxicity, because I'll be able to see it immediately. If your lymph system's open and there's no game here, if you're so-called a doctor, then you would transfer some of this goodness to yourself.
I like that. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah, and this hurts a lot of the people that are in the health business, is because they're just parroting a system that they've been taught. I went to school and I learned a bunch of hocus pocus. I had to get out and unlearn all that hocus pocus and relearn a lot of things that made sense. And the biggest thing that I found out is you never kill anything within the body. It is your child. These parasites that live within us, they are your children. They are the firstborn. And they have a part of our DNA, and if you try to fight them or kill them, they will fight back, as any other energy field never wants to die. And if you push a dog up against the corner, it'll run if you don't. But if you push it, it will bite.
So what would you suggest? Oh, did you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. What do you, yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, what do you suggest that people would do with the parasites then?
Yeah.
Say they think they're overloaded and things.
Well, the simple thing is that, once we have to find out that people say, well, what do you mean? These things, how are they going to change? Well, most of the parasites that kick your arse, as they say in England, they call that your arse. They are called pleomorphic. Pleomorphic.
Okay.
An ability to change shape. So an anaerobic microbe is the same as an aerobic microbe. All you have to do, instead of kill everything, like with antibiotics and so forth, is to manipulate your terrain. And this is cutting-edge information. This is really information that puts a lot of the health business out of business, because it is a business. And in order, look at the word business. Just take that word apart. Sin. is. You have to sin a lot to do business.
Huh.
Okay, and it's a weird thing. So there is no business in the health business. It's a sharing thing. Oh, just because you don't have money means that you can't get healthy? Wait a minute, who came up with that? We spend $2 trillion a year on healthcare, and we're one of the sickest nations in the world.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. And it's because of toxicity. Genetically modified foods. Okay, are if let's say people say, well, how do I manipulate the parasites? Because that's what you just asked a minute ago. Well, first thing is that you have to, number one is quit feeding them. And most of them live off of, if you went and had cancer, let's say, and cancer, and like I said in my book, is a creature, same as body fat's a creature. And the doctor, the oncologist would say right off, he'd say, I want you to stop all your glucose because the cancer feeds off of sugar, all sugars. I don't care if it's honey, all sugars.
Okay.
So this is one of the number one things that we do in terrain modification is manipulating your sugar load. I just did a video on this. It's coming out.
Oh, good.
And this is where, this is where all these little pieces of the pie, you can't get, there's not a silver bullet here. There's not one pill that's going to do anything. It's a manipulation of these 16 different, there's more departments than the 16 that I told you, those ones that I told you. They're called the areas of focus for terrain modification, including EMFs or electrical magnetic fields. You do not put a cell phone, which AKA, also known as a microwave transmitter. You don't put that up to your head, especially if you've got metal fillings. And metal fillings are usually in the form of mercury-based amalgam, methyl mercury, lead, mercury, and tin.
Wow. Yeah, we've heard that from quite a few people. And I think word's getting around about that whole thing. But doctor, we got to take a short break here. We're going to get to a couple questions we've got from listeners after the break, and we are with Dr. Robert Cassar. And don't forget to check out his website, earthshiftproducts.com, and we'll be right back with Dr. Cassar after this break. Hey guys, if you've been following our work for any length of time, you know that I'm a big fan of raw food. I did a raw food diet actually from 2003 to 2010, 100%, and I loved it. And raw food is a huge part of my diet, and I just love it. And if you're interested in making healthy, really amazing raw food dishes without spending hours and hours in the kitchen, I would highly recommend checking out a program put together by Russell James called the Raw Chef Program. You can check it out at extremehealthradio.com/raw chef, and I have to say it's absolutely incredible. I have it, and it's got hundreds of hours of video, professionally done video, along with workbooks and PDF files, and he walks you through how to make the most amazing, delicious raw food meals that don't take forever. Everything from mock pizzas and pasta to ice cream to cheese to fluffy bread, if you can imagine it. It's incredible. So I highly recommend you checking it out. It's you can check it out at extremehealthradio.com/raw chef. And I think you are absolutely going to love this program. So check it out now. Okay, we're having a good time with Dr. Robert Cassar from earthshiftproducts.com. And Doctor, before the break, we were just kind of touching a little bit on the EMF from the cell phones and things, and that was really interesting to me. We have a few questions I want to get to after, but maybe if you can just touch on that a little bit, and then we can get to the questions right after that.
Well, electrical magnetic fields are unknown to us. We cannot see them, feel them, hear them, or touch them. It's like the Matrix, and they are real. And our bodies do not jive with this type of energy that's put off by these synthetic machines. Our bodies run off of direct impulse current, sort of like a Star Trek ship. Okay, we do not run off of 60 cycle manipulated energy, and that goes for sitting in your car too with the alternator. And you'll notice that everybody that drives a truck for a living, when they get out of the truck, look at the size of these people.
Wow.
Their bellies are pulled forward because, see, the microbes, they thrive off of this energy. The electrical magnetic fields, basically. Remember we talked about before, the cell at its best power is minus 70 millivolts or so. And this energy sucks your body dry. Not only do the parasites do it, but what this does is, see, the parasites live in a lower vibrational band. They live in the colors red, orange, and yellow. And if we really look at red, orange, and yellow and pull it over to negative millivolts, that's like minus 25 to 40 millivolts. Green, blue, indigo, and violet. Violet would be the minus 70 millivolts, and that would be, again, bad arse. The level of power. And you don't get sick. My blood is purple. It's not red. I've manipulated my terrain to be able to change the color of red blood is weak blood. You have flat red blood cells. My red blood cells on microscopy are more shaped like the planet, more shaped like a UFO. It's got that little bubble in the middle of it. Okay. Now, electrical magnetic fields. Here's one quick, just because everybody's trying to say, well, what do I do? Well, here's one quick thing that everybody does all day. You're on a laptop. Get that laptop away from you and push it away and get yourself a $10 keyboard and a mouse and hook it in and push the keyboard away. Because if you put your hands on the keyboard, and if you get one of it's called a tri-field meter. I made one specifically to really have this measured very simply. It's called a tri-field meter, and this will show you, but you don't have to measure it. This is true. It's 100 milligauss of weird energy on your keyboard. And what you do is to get rid of that laptop. People put them on their stomachs. They put them on their waist, and your gonads are there. If you're a man or a woman, your gonads are your testes and your ovaries. And forget about sexuality. Your ovaries and your testes are there for your immune system. They are the power, the weapons behind your laser system. You either shoot like peas, like with a slingshot, okay, and that means your system can't fight off of a lot of different infections inside your system, or you have laser and you're impervious to yeast, mold, and fungus.
You know, and I see people like pregnant women, putting these iPads and things on their stomach while they're laying down, and man, it's just I just fear for that baby, you know.
It's called ignorance. And once you hear this, people, this is not ignorance anymore. Then you can check it out yourself. Don't believe me. Remember, I'm just a student. I have to say this every time because people think I'm authority. No, I'm not. I'm a 13th grader. I graduated high school. That's 12th grade. And when I was in 12th grade, I thought I knew a lot. Okay, because you're a senior. Well, compared to when you were a freshman, well, you do know a lot more, at least with experience. And so now I'm in the 13th grade, and at my level, I'm not really too, feeling that all of a sudden this level is I'm just like a brand new person in a new grade. It's like, whoa, I need some help here. Yeah. But we can help people. See, I like to teach people in the 12th grade, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th. That's it. If you're a 6th grader, 5th or 4th or 3rd grader, that's okay. Go play dodgeball for a little while. And then when you're ready to do some homework and find out that the standard American diet, the SAD diet, is not what it's all cracked up to be. It's fake food. It's synthetics. It's all false sugars filled full of things to be able to con you into saying, oh my gosh, does this taste good? And there's a system here. See, once you're on this heroin food, and it is heroin basically to your microbes, then it's like a person, here, let me just give you this quick example because this makes big sense to people. Heroin is a very addictive drug, okay? Right. After 7 days, I own you. If I injected you 3 times a day, you'd say, I don't want that. But no, if we tied you down and gave you 3 injections a day on the 7th day, you'd say, can I have my shot?
Right.
Yeah.
But why? Is because now, in order for you to be able to process this, your body had to make a certain microbe that goes along with it to metabolize it. Remember, they're pleomorphic microbes. And see, heroin, you can kill it out in 21 days and just dry it out. But now let's say, look up tobacco. Tobacco is almost 3 times as more addictive than heroin is. Because, why? Okay, now the addiction number 1 is when people go out to smoke, they're not smoking, they're feeding their microbes. They don't get high. they get level so they can go back on to working or doing whatever they're doing. And in 2 hours, it will call again. As a person who is loaded full of yeast, mold, and fungus, their system will call them to feed sugar. Okay, remember, these are yeast, mold, and fungus, and they're insatiable. Depending on what you give them, they change and manipulate their power to. So now let's say the person wants to quit smoking. What happens when you quit smoking? Because your mind now gets strong because it just all of a sudden had a dream. Maybe you had cancer, you start coughing up blood, or you just say, I don't want to do this smelly stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. You gain 15 pounds, don't you?
Yeah.
When you stop smoking. Why? It's because this microbe changes fuel source. It changes over to glucose, and this is a big problem. Okay, so people need to know this. They're going to have insatiable hunger when they switch and they start cutting out any microbe. So that's why you have to do it slowly. You can't just wipe these things down. You have to slowly terrain modify them a little bit at a time, and the best way anybody can do that is really to have a companion that's got the same type of problem and have some type of a metered out goal. And you have to slowly manipulate these guys. So what happens is the tobacco is metabolized by a microbe, and you cut off the tobacco, and that microbe's still alive. It's not going to die. The heroin microbe dies once you dry it out. It's done. Okay, and that's why tobacco is 3 times more addictive than heroin.
Because these things don't die. Wow.
Because they don't die, and they switch fuels. They switch over fuels to a fuel that's glucose, and you will be insatiably hungry. I used to smoke organic tobacco and cannabis for years, and I quit that, and I got insatiably hungry. And I couldn't figure it. It was a good experiment for me. And I didn't smoke too much. I just smoked stretching, and I smoked when I was reading, and just to change my consciousness to wipe it clean organic tobacco. And they build up, because that's why you can take a smoke, and then in the beginning, the first couple of smokes you take, you go, whoa, that stuff is strong.
Right.
But after a few weeks, you need more and more. As a person who eats same thing, sugar, needs more and more. It's why you never have sugar before you go to bed, because in the morning you'll be insatiably hungry, because at night the yeast, mold, and fungus had to metabolize. You can't metabolize this poison. Sugar is poison. Once you get down to the level of terrain modification you are, then use it just as you would with some special ecstasy system.
So does alcohol and obviously wine and any alcohol fit into that as well?
Same.
Wow.
Same thing. I went through a week's worth of sweats. Because what happens is, there's these microbes inside are energy fields. They are life forces, and they are also attracting ethereal. And this is some of the things I share with people and teach. We actually have webinars coming up on things that I can't talk about on YouTube, and different treatments and things. So they're very cheap, just $10 or whatever, people. But I can share with people treatments that we used to do that I can't put on the internet, because I just practicing medicine without a license, telling the whole world about things is sort of like going against the system. But if people want to go to these webinars, it's called the Earther, because this is what we're going to become. Earthers, from earthlings, from earthling to earther is the new metamorphosis, from unnatural to natural, from the idea from caterpillar to butterfly, or from carbon-based to crystalline-based, from destructive to reconstructive, from binary to Fibonacci sequence, or from synthetic to authentic.
Wow.
So it's a metamorphosis, and what we share with people is because that's rubber to the road. Is you'll notice a lot of the videos I do, we don't go into treatment, because I've been told already, don't.
What website will that be available from?
This will be it'll be called the Earther Health Academy, but people can start right now going. We're going to start doing webinars in a few weeks. Like I said, they're super cheap, so anybody can afford them. Then they can just sign up, and we can tell you when they're going to come. It's called the Earther, EARTHER Academy.com.
Earther Academy. Okay, Doc, we got a few emails here we want to get to. We got about 5 minutes or so before the break, and then Kate, maybe if you could read some of those.
Sure.
Yeah, and then after that, I want to get into, after the break, some more details about the terrain modification program. So go ahead, Kate.
Okay. This one was written a couple days ago. Greetings. My name is Stefan, and I'm writing from the United Kingdom. I wanted to get Dr. Cassar's thoughts about high quality grass finished animal products like raw milk, raw butter, and cheese, as well as organ meats from healthy animals. Also, I wanted to know if Dr. Cassar ever ate eggs. Thank you for your show. It has inspired me to live healthier.
Excellent question. See, we're not here to share people raw food worlds or this side of the fence or jump on this side of the fence. We're in a transitional state. And everybody is going from the standard American diet, then going to healthier foods. From healthier foods, are going to organic foods. From organic foods, you're going to superfoods. From superfoods to heirloom foods. From heirloom to nutritional, medicinal, and so on up the line.
Okay. Right.
So we're not here to say this is a cult, but it is a culture to become healthier. Okay, so eating... and if you are going to eat meat, you only have grass-fed, no antibiotics, no hormones, no vaccines. I remember as a parasitologist, you never eat pigs either. The pig is 85% human, or the human is 85% pig. So whatever you want to look at it, you're 85% DNA of the pig.
I don't know if I like that.
And if you've ever seen the Raw brothers came over here. They came over for a few days, and we did a few videos. And you can see one of my little Russian boars that I found when I was on a bike ride here. She was like a pound big, and I fed her superfoods. And she's about 275 pounds of solid muscle right now.
Whoa.
Wow.
What a tank. And they eat anything. I have huge turtles that I brought from California, too, these 160-pound African cicada turtles. And the turtles poop and she eats the poop.
No.
Okay, the pigs will eat anything, so you don't eat these animals. They're not really fit and clean. Now, the best animals, if you're going to have, are grass-fed, not ones that are dry food fed. Their systems are too acid. They're full of parasites. And they're full of hormones. They're full of antibiotics. They're full of, every chicken gets a vaccine. Every chicken gets antibiotics. Farm fresh fish, please. Guys, do you see what kind of food they're feeding them? Don't. Wild caught Alaskan fish, fine. See, what you're trying to do is step up. And when you do eat these foods, do like the Book of the Essenes says. You never swallow anything but the spit, the saliva. You wrap your signature around raw eggs. Long as the eggs, you don't eat unfertile things. That's like GMO, genetically modified organisms, means sterile, will not reproduce. You don't eat eggs that are not fertile. That is another negative. So try to eat things that are complete. Heirloom means they haven't been manipulated from, I got bit by a viper about a year and a half ago.
I heard about that.
What?
Yeah, and so I was in the hospital 6 days. I took 66 vials of antivenom, $600,000+ in medical bills. Oh, and you talk about a cleansing, okay? And I was in there talking to these doctors, and they said, "You're a bloody miracle because you should have lost your arm. You've taken more venom than anybody that we've ever known on the planet." They called the Poison Control Center because they don't know how to deal with these viper, twin venom snakes.
Wow.
And, heart rate went down to 35 beats, blood pressure went in half, and in 20 minutes I couldn't walk, and in 20 more minutes I was totally paralyzed, couldn't even move a bit. That's how powerful this thing is.
Wow.
And so after I basically, because, my systems, as you see in my videos, I'm very lean. I've been doing this for a while. I've been experimenting and researching. I've spent millions of dollars when I hurt my back, when I got into that auto accident. I broke my nose, my face, my cheekbone, chipped my teeth. I fractured my navicular bone, cast for 6 months. I broke some ribs. I damaged my low back, L4, L5, L5S1, damaged them like a glass that got broken, cracked. You can't fix that. Well, I did. I fixed mine. Your body will regenerate as long as you do the correct things to it. And it needs just like a car. You can't spray paint on top of a bad paint job. You got to strip it down to the bare metal and fix everything and then start it from there. So I had to do a complete rebuild. Wow. And so basically I was asking the doctors, just to get to this real quick, what is the difference between heirloom foods, and these are doctors, these are the head guys, heirloom, genetically modified GMO foods, and hybridized, and none of them know anything the difference. And guy's drinking a Pepsi in front of me.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty common actually, isn't it?
Well, it is very common because we're really shielded away from this. And so this is what I tell people, because this is what it gets down to, eating the meat. This is a good question. If you came to me as a doctor and you wanted to spend $600 and go ahead and get my opinion, I would say, guys, get off of wheat, corn, and soy, and you keep eating your meat, but you switch over to organic grass-fed and you chew only the flesh and swallow the saliva. Okay, you keep chewing it and chewing it, and never swallow any pieces, because now you're just getting putrefaction and you're getting a lot of stuff. And you just keep chewing it and chewing it and chewing it and chewing it, and try not to have any pig. Pig is just it. Remember the swine flu, the pig tapeworm. Look up the pig tapeworm, the pork tapeworm. This is a bad arse individual again. It goes into your system only because it can. If you've got the terrain for it to be able to go into, it will. And it doesn't just go into your stomach and make a tapeworm. It bores a hole through your stomach, your small intestine. It goes into your liver first thing. It makes a set of babies. Once it does there, it leaves and goes into the bloodstream again and goes to your brain. It makes a set of babies. It goes back into your bloodstream again. It goes back into your heart, your gonads, or wherever it needs to manipulate your terrain. Then it goes back to your lungs. This is the pentagon. This is the 5 stage of this thing. I go through this a lot in my lectures. 5 stages, and it finally goes into the lungs, and you cough it up because you think you're sick. And why do you think you're sick? Is because there's a new sheriff in town now, and it's gonna manipulate your terrain, because now you get sick, you get a temperature and a fever and all that stuff, and you can't go to work, and you cough it up, and all it takes is to swallow 1 egg that the lungs have made. Remember, this thing has gone around your body and made a host of children. And then it finally goes back to from which it came, the law of the circle. And it turns now into this nasty, nasty tapeworm that controls you from the inside out.
It's crazy when you hear about stuff like that, because you think, oh, that's out there, whatever. But we actually had the pastor that married us a long time ago. His wife ate some improperly cooked pork. Same thing, exactly what you're talking about. Went to her brain. It almost killed her.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what it is. Back in the 50s, see, this is where parasitology, guys, I can scare you straight, but I don't really like to do that unless I can give you simple solutions. A lot of S's there. S. Scare you straight and give you simple solutions. So in the 50s, this is what happens. The fire departments and all these different places that actually were looking at shielding of heat found out that the tapeworm egg, you can char that thing with 2,000 degrees and it will still matricate and can. Wow. So it doesn't matter cooking. You'll only kill the parasites in the meat, the trichinosis and all the weird stuff. And those are visual parasites. Remember, there are macro parasites that you can see with your eyes.
Right.
And there are micro parasites.
With the microphone. Or microscope.
Yeah. And we also have, just so you know, we can get, and you can see a lot of different, there's a lot of people that we put together. It's called earthshiftproject.com. And there's Earthshift Study Group, there's Earthshift Products, where you get the products from wholesale. And we've got Earthshift Project, and it's a community of people from around the world, a lot of people from the United Kingdom. That's a big, heavy area of people that want to get healthy and clean. That share their nectar, that share their transformations, that do videos. And I moderate this thing here. We're trying to it's a lot of stuff I do on my own, but it's to get the bigger picture we're trying to get an evolutionary worldwide event where once you change yourself to a certain level, then you must then do what you're supposed to do, which it's inside you to teach, just like you guys are doing. You guys are doing something because you know that this is something special.
Yeah,
right.
I love what you're saying here, Doc. We got to take a short break. We got a couple more questions after the break, and we're with Dr. Robert Cassar. And don't forget to check out he's got a ton of websites, which I will put on the show page here, but Earthshift Products is one, and as well as Dr. Robert Cassar, that's another one. So we'll put all of these on this show page, and we'll be back after this short break. So a few years ago, when I was working for this company, it was a really small company, and I had been wanting a Vitamix blender for years and years and years, but they're so expensive, and I just hadn't saved the money at that time to get one. And so as a Christmas bonus, they knew that I loved the Vitamix, so they got me a Vitamix, the 5000 blender. And that thing is so incredible. It was right at the beginning of my raw food journey, and I was using it about 3 times a day, really. Today, I still use it about twice a day to make blended smoothies and things like that. But the Vitamix blender is really, really great. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, that will redirect you over to there, and then you'll be able to purchase that, and we'll get a commission for your order. And you'll also get free shipping too, so that'll be great for you if you're interested in saving about $25 on the shipping. And with the Vitamix, you can make sauces and dips and bread. You could make ice cream with it. I've done a lot of ice cream. You can just make the most incredible things. And it's my favorite because it's got a tamper on it. And you can put ice and frozen berries and avocado and some honey and things like that, and with no water at all, and you have that tamper, and you can make the most amazing ice creams with it. So the Vitamix is my favorite blender of choice, and if you're in the market to buy one, I would greatly encourage you to do so if you have the money for it. And if you do it through us, through extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, I'll get a little commission for it, and you'll get free shipping. So it works out for you and for us too. So if you're in the market, please do it through us. That'd be really cool. And you're going to love this thing. When you get it, you're going to fall in love with it. You'll never go back to a regular blender again. So check that out, extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, we're having a good time here with Dr. Robert Cassar, all the way from the big island of Hawaii. I feel like I want to go there and go surfing or something. That'd be a lot of fun. What's that?
Get a tan. We need one.
I know. We could use a little tan right now. But yeah, we're having a good time with Dr. Robert Cassar, and he's imparting lots of wisdom and knowledge to us. And Doctor, we have a few more questions I really want to get into at the end of the interview in a few minutes, the terrain modification program a little bit more, but I want to get through these questions really quick. And Kate, you have a couple more, right?
I do. The second question was, let's see, it's from Melissa from Carbondale, Illinois. What are your thoughts about rebounding? I'm considering buying a rebounder and wanted to know if it's worth the investment and if you think it would help people become healthier.
Well, it depends on how much money you want to spend and how much money you have. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I had to weigh and measure, one of the most important things is to do cardio training twice a day. If you live in the city, sometimes going outside and running on the street is very detrimental because the cars kick out. They took the lead out of the 70s out of the fuel, and then they had to put in something to replace its lubricity, and they put nickel in.
Ooh.
And so everybody's getting nickel poisoning. That's why a lot of these people getting problems with a lot of different glands. Nickel poisoning it goes into the glands and plugs everything up. So rebounding, some of these machines, some of these things are $500, $600, $700. Personally, I think the tools, if you've got the money, tools are essential to increase your terrain modification. But the number one thing, depending on what you're trying to get, if you're just trying to get cardio, and it's X, Y, and Z, that works pretty good. But I mean, if you're trying to do detoxification, it's the far infrared saunas are excellent, and just getting out and even walking up a hill twice a day out in nature works really good, because a lot of people don't have money. But the rebounder, inside, if you live in the city, they're excellent because you can do your thing and watch TV or just do what you want to do. They're not as effective as to me. I like to work out sometimes in a gym just because the people in the gym actually get me to do more. You have to go to classes and stuff like that. It pushes me to sort of keep up with everybody else.
Right.
Okay,
that's how we are too.
That's a good question. You got another one, right?
Okay, I'll read one more. Let's see. This is from Alyssa in Richfield of Minnesota. Do you have any suggestions for helping to balance blood sugars? I like to eat lots of raw food, but it seems like the dishes I make or see contain a lot of sugar. Can you help me with my diabetic problem I've been diagnosed with? I have type 2 diabetes and would like some suggestions from Dr. Cassar for normalizing my blood sugar and getting off of insulin. Thanks, Kate and Justin, for all you do. Thanks, Alicia.
Okay, well, let's say, first of all, number one, a Coke a day or a soda a day
Yeah.
will give you about 40 pounds of sugar a year.
Oh.
That's insidious.
Seriously?
Wow, that's crazy.
That's insidious.
Oh.
Okay? And I'm not drinking mine, and that's average. So the average person, they figured this out. It's anywhere from 145 to 160 pounds of sugar a year. That's why you look around. Push a cart around Walmart or Costco and don't buy anything, but check out the herd.
Oh, my gosh.
And just go in there as a farmer of the Dell. And I want you to sort of look at the herd that is being farmed. Sickness is everywhere. 80% of the population, 80% is 15 pounds plus overweight. And I call that toxicity. And that's because the terrain modification, their pores are plugged. The number one disease on this planet, which do you think that is?
Disease, I would...
Cancer?
Cancer, heart disease, or...
Number one disease on the planet. That's a secondary disease. The first disease is chronic dehydration.
Whoa.
Easily to whoop. And this is why people can look up the 6 liquids of vitality. I've put up a bunch more, but these are the things. You'd have 1 ounce of fluid, because we're trying to give some nectar here too, not just say, oh, Dr. Cassar talks about it. We want to give some nectar here too. 1 ounce of fluid a day of these 6 liquids of vitality will change a lot of the yeast, mold, and fungus that live in the body, that give you these diabetes, that give you toxicity. Remember, the glands get plugged. And a lot of the makeup that we use, the tampons, fingernail polish, hair color, perfumes, women get hit hard before they get out the door. They got 60 toxicities before they even go to work.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
Perfumes like Eau de Toilette, okay? It's what it is, Eau de Toilette. It's because it's got over 100 chemicals in it. And if the companies will not show you what's in it, then don't use it. Anything you put on your skin, let's just say for a reason, go look at some of the lotions that people put on their skin. That's why I only use coconut oil. Mm-hmm. It's got lauric acid, and the coconut oil we have is a centrifuge coconut oil. It's very special. It's not just because you can buy cheap coconut oil. It's really junk.
Right.
And it's stored in the wrong container, because plastic is what is causing a lot of these diabetes problems, plasticizers, and all this stuff that plugs our glands up. So, this is a very big problem. So number one disease on the planet is chronic dehydration. And we need 1 ounce of fluid, and not just water. 1 ounce of a variety of liquids that are highly mineralized and heirloom. Red hibiscus flower water. I use the blue-green algae. You can, if you don't have these things, you can take 4 squeezed lemons and put them in as soon as you get up in the morning. The number one thing you do is drink 12 to 16 ounces of water with maybe 2 or 3 lemons in it, or 12 to 16 ounces of water on an empty stomach with maybe a half a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate. And it alkalizes your system. So, see, I don't start drinking in the morning. I start my drinking when I go to bed at night. So when I go to bed at night, I drink like maybe a glass of red hibiscus flower water in case I have my little food in my stomach.
Wow.
I use the red hibiscus flower because it's got a little bit of acid in it. Or you can use lemon, because the last thing you want to do is have anything that's alkaline, because that'll stop your digestion before you go to bed.
Okay.
And you'll wake up with indigestion. Then when you get up, because you remember you're going to have a glass of this liquid. When you get up an hour and a half later, don't pee in the toilet. Pee in some type of container. Okay, why? Because I want you now to be a parasitologist. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to go ahead and look at your fluids. And in an hour and a half, you'll get up or so, and then you drink 12 to 15. Just keep your eyes closed, and you have this liquid already made up, and you drink 12 to 15 swallows. I try to do 20 swallows while you're going to the bathroom. Okay? And then you'll go back to bed again. And you'll get up again in an hour and a half. Yes, you will.
Right.
And this is the best way to normalize your blood flow. If you're coming, like I said, to see me as a toxicologist, anybody, basically I'm going to give you some information. This is the information that we try to share in our webinars, and it's treatment information. So when you do this at night, water in the day is a hydrant. It hydrates you. Yes, it does. And in the evening time, when you're sleeping, when your body, this machine's at rest, and this is where Dracula comes out to play. All these microbes come out to play. That's why they always want you to eat sugar before you go to bed, so they can replicate with food. And you wake up in the morning and you're bloody well hungry. Okay, so this is what you do. You drink these fluids at night, and what this does is it washes your system clean, and it turns into a solvent. hydration in the day, same fluids, and these liquids that you use at night turn into a solvent. And I sometimes, when I was going through my cleansing process, I'd get up 10 times a night. You go right back to sleep. And if you can't sleep well, people, there's a reason. It's because you got nickel poisoning, lead poisoning, arsenic poisoning, thallium poisoning. All the jewelry that men and women wear, from the back of a Rolex watch, stainless steel, titanium. Your skin is 5.5 pH. Healthy skin is acid. And these metals are alkaloids. Sterling silver is 92.5 pure silver. But what's the 6.5% made up of? Besides the silver, you know what it is?
Probably nickel.
Yeah, what is that?
You're so good.
Am I?
10 points.
Yay!
So this is why everybody's getting nickel poisoning. Not only is it in your fuel, okay? Women put on, what do you think makeup's made out of? Think of it.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
Petroleum. It's made out of petroleum-based diesel. Here, put some mascara on. It's diesel.
Oh.
You know, a lot of the people, you go to these yoga places and these namaste houses, I call them. You know, everybody's trying to do better. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm bagging on anybody. They're in the more spiritualistic level, and they're burning incense. That is so toxic. I went to India and these places. You know how they do it? They dip them into a petroleum-based fuel first in the sticks, and then they put like 5, one in each finger, between each finger, these guys, and then they dip them in the fuel, and then they dip them in the spices, and that's what hooks them onto there. But it's petroleum-based fuels, the same as burning like petroleum-based candles. It's not good.
Wow. Okay, I think you had a question.
Yeah. Well, here's 2 questions just off the top of my head. If you were a woman, A, would you not wear any jewelry? And B, what kind of makeup would you wear on a day-to-day basis if we're just trying to look attractive?
Organic, non-petroleum-based makeups.
Does that exist?
We at Earthshift have a bunch of these different things, from fingernail polish they're non-petroleum-based. And then if you put petroleum fingernail polish on, not only does it absorb, your fingernails are like organs.
Yeah.
These things are there for a reason. Okay, your hair is an antenna, and women really dye their hair a lot. Different colors, different things, and once you start dyeing it, it's like, wow. And once you start putting makeup on, then you got to keep using makeup, because now your skin's starting to flux because you've clogged your pores up. So I have different ways to give yourself a facelift. Simple facelift to clean the pores. Remember, there's thousands of pores, hundreds of thousands of pores, just in your face and neck. And each of these pores, remember, go into your body, and if you could release the toxicity just within that pore, you part of the terrain modification. This is the book. Feel and look half your age in 180 days, guaranteed.
Is that a book title?
Yeah, this is a book title.
Feel and look half your age in 180 days.
Guaranteed. And you can't guarantee anything. Yes, we can. Okay? Why? If you follow this program, guys, it takes 6 spoons to terrain modify your atomic structure from the bottom up, and your bacterial structure. It's why you don't kill anything, and you don't have any GMO, genetically modified organisms. This is very important. I don't like to talk about this on the radio, because Monsanto. Okay? Mono means one, Santo means saint.
Oh,
whoa,
man.
You guys picked up a good name.
Wow.
Okay? And they've taken their patents in different ways. They have these all wheat corn, and so I don't care if it's organic, schmorganic, doesn't matter. It all gets contaminated. If I eat wheat, corn, or soy, I can't go to the bathroom, and I get blood in my stool because my stomach says don't.
Wow.
My whole stomach, basically, since I've got off of wheat, corn, and soy, my bacteria system, because what happens is there's glufosinate. So it's an herbicide that's spliced, genetically modified, mutated into these species, wheat, corn, and soy. So what happens is, as the plant grows, this herbicide grows in the plant. Okay, pretty cool. And it's in the corn, the wheat, and the soy. So farmers, quote, don't have to put on pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Whoa, that's not the case. All you have to do is make the plant strong by putting the correct minerals in the soil and making sure that there's microbes in the soil, and then the plant becomes super strong. As we become strong, we don't need things to kill things. We just need to become our immune system strong, and we don't get anything.
Right.
So glufosinate, or this herbicide, once you eat it, and there's been a lot of research on it. Remember, don't believe me, investigate it. It's a big problem. So if there's confusion, what do? You don't do it until somebody figures it out. And there's a lot of information about this. So let's say you eat the corn or the wheat or the soy. as you swallow it, these genetically modified organisms mutate and keep on mutating. They mutate your gut wall bacteria, and now you are secreting herbicide in your stomach, which is killing your good bacteria. And that's one of the reasons, to get back to that question about the milk, you only have raw milk only. And the best thing to do is culture it. Don't even use it until I put in a sputum or inulin. We have this agave inulin. And our agave, if it's brown, I wouldn't touch it. I personally, think most of it's high fructose corn syrup. Because the stuff we sell has 50% inulin in it, and that's the only reason you'd have the agave in, is because it's actually like a good probiotic to feed your good bacteria. So we have pure inulin, and you put a spoon of inulin into the milk, and you can put it at about 105 degrees, and it makes cheese in a day.
Whoa.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And you get millions and millions and millions of good bacteria. But when you swallow this cheese, boy, is it going to give you gas, because it's going to be, as it does, it's killing. It's beating up all the anaerobic microbes. It's eating them like little Pac-Men in your stomach. Right. And as they get eaten, they poop too. And that's the smell you're smelling, is stench. Yeah. Okay? And so if you guys both have this cheese, you both got to eat it so you can actually have ammunition with each other. If not, you will kick him out of the room. Or her.
Oh, man. Hey, Doc, we have one more question for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one more real quick. This is from Patricia, Columbia, South Carolina. I'm considering getting a far infrared sauna for my husband and myself. I'm pregnant, so I don't think I can use it, right? Is sweating everything it's cracked up to be? Can my husband and I really use it to detoxify heavy metals? Can you explain why sweating is so important, if so?
Again, the lymph system has millions of pores. Each pore has a cord that leads into the lymph. All these cancers, all these problems are plugged lymph systems. As you take your clothes off, and you can give yourself, people say, well, how do you know my lymph system's clogged? Take your clothes off and see your skin is 7 layers thick. That's it. It's transparent. Look at a lot of my videos. You'll see how lean I am. People say, how'd you get so lean, man? You starve yourself? No, I've opened my lymph system up. I put solvents. I do gua sha every day in the shower. It takes me 2-3 minutes. But in order for me to get there, I had to take one layer at a time. And the only way you really can, going in the sweat box is cool, but usually plastic and everything is plugged, and nothing's going to really, you go to like a spin class, like if you go to a 24-hour fitness, and you'll notice that 90% of the people in there, after even the class, didn't even sweat a drop. And they're all working pretty hard. Yeah. It's because their system is plugged to the max with all the makeup, with all the lotions. Read the lotions. Look at, I don't like to say names, but look at popular ones. And you'll see that some of the lotions have aluminum in them, underarm deodorant, aluminum. Right. Salt, if you go to any of the chains that are on the NASDAQ or the public system that basically are run by, I call them the system lords, they have aluminum in the salt. That's criminal. Aluminum silicates, to be exact. Silicon is one of the essentials. See, I drink a bottle of silicon every month. And in order to get healthy, because if you're going to sweat, you better put the minerals back in your system. Right. It's not just like sweat. you gotta and if you're a vegetarian, then most likely you're mineral deficient, especially B12. And that's why the blue-green algae that we have, look up Dr. Robert Cassar, 6 Liquids of Vitality. We show people how to make kombucha. You buy a bottle of kombucha and you make it yourself. You don't have to keep buying $3 a bottle or $4 a bottle. Not only that's not strong enough. You make your own.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
Whew.
Yeah, that's so fascinating.
That's a lot of information.
So a lot of people don't like me because I'm trying to really, people do, but companies don't, because what we're trying to do is, we're not trying to bag on anybody. We're just trying to really have people optimize their health and wellness. And a lot of things that have come our way are not optimizing. They're sort of, tripping us a little bit. Look at lipstick, in fact. Just put this one on. Lead/lipstick. Whoa! What do you mean? All these companies that I won't say their names because they're big ones.
Yeah.
Okay, big names, and you know who they are. You would buy lipstick. By the time a woman's 50 years old, she's swallowed 3 gallons of lipstick, and she wonders why her caboose is the size of a Volkswagen. It's because lead accumulates there, and lead looks really good on your lips because it gives it like nice, thick appearance. Okay, so the far infrared heaters and units are very beneficial with the solvents, and using the technique, the gua sha. Look up Dr. Robert Cassar and dissolve it all, or dissolve it all. And this is sharing with people again very minimally, but I'm going to show people very in depthly on our webinars, so I can actually be more one-on-one. A lot of people say, do you do consultations too? No. I could do them all day long, but we try to do them for their group consultations. So actually a one-on-one person that's just a business. Why would I want to say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? Because it's good business.
Yeah, that's wild. So is Earther Academy, is that up and running now, or is that a project that's going to be coming on live?
That'll be open in the next few weeks. It's called the Earther Health Academy. Remember, we're going to become, whether we like it or not, we're going to metamorphosize from caterpillar to butterfly, from earthling to earther. No matter what level, it's not exclusive, it's inclusive. It's open to all creeds, races, religions, anybody who wants to become more human.
I like it.
I love that.
I like that. We'll put a link to that.
It's weird to talk that way because you can't go to Stanford and say, "Hey, you got any courses on how to become more human?"
Right.
No, this is way beyond any college.
Yeah.
So those webinars will be available that you're going to do, and they'll be like $10 each, and people can pick from tons of different ones.
Yeah, basically what you can do is either that or you join our it'll just be a very minimal fee a month, because I want to open this up to 50 million players. I cut my hair, as you noticed. I don't know if you've seen my pictures lately.
I did. I saw that.
We just saw that right before the show.
Yeah, and I cut it for a reason. It's because, one thing is I asked my dad, what do you want for Christmas, Dad? Because he's got everything. He says, cut your bloody hair. You look like a hippie. You look like you're an Indian or something. You're Maltese. And I said, well, I am. We're from the Maltese Indian tribe. And so, anyways, I wanted to try to really get to a larger group of people, because the raw foodist group community is only 30,000 people. We're into the lifestyle transition group, and I want to reach 50 million people worldwide. So we've got about 10,000 people on our Earthshift project site now, and we need to really, and people should join different communities. And remember, we're here to share the nectar. We don't share what we think we know. We share our experiential wisdom, what happened to us. Sharing your truth is not what you learn in a book, is what you've experienced and how you can share with people how you navigated this movement to get this experience. So you can show people the way that you did it so they don't have to trip too.
I love it. Wow, we'll be looking out for the launch of that, and we'll be following all your websites. And I just want to thank you, Doctor, for being on and spending some of your day with us, and really appreciate this. You're welcome. And we should open up another segment here, just a little more specific. And anytime, because we do this with people, anytime you want to become one of our, because Earthshift is the best deal on the internet with everything, and, free shipping, and we've got a ton of stuff. And plus, we can actually take products that we find that maybe some of your listeners and different people want us to carry around, and we put them in our distribution system so we can help people actually sell some of their products at a discount too, because we don't sell anything retail. It's all a discount, free shipping, and the whole bit.
So cool.
That's great. Would you mind holding on for just a moment?
Sure.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. That's like a hippie dance.
No, I'm in my mind on Hawaii with Dr. Robert Cassar.
Oh, in a hula skirt.
Right. And coconut shells.
Nice.
Kind of puts me in the mood. I want to be in Hawaii.
You know what that music's from?
No, I don't.
It's actually from the Bones Brigade skate movie.
I don't know what that is. Oh,
the skate movie in the 80s.
Right. So you stole it.
Well,
you borrowed it.
I borrowed it. Yeah.
I would never know because I never watched that as a little girl. I was watching My Little Pony.
But you played with G.I. Joe, didn't you?
Well, sure.
Or Star Wars?
Both.
So you should have been watching Bones Brigade.
Well, yeah. If the stormtroopers would have been skateboarding, I would have been all over it.
Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic.
R2-D2 on a half pipe.
I don't know how we got from cleansing parasites to R2-D2 on a half pipe, but oh man,
that's good. Great.
So
you never know with us.
So what do you think of Dr. Cassar?
Oh, I love that man. Dude, he's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so much information. My mind's reeling. Like, I have so many questions for him. I want to have him back. I still am a little unclear about my makeup options. How to ask more to. I want to have more questions to ask him about how to kind of pursue that, as well as I thought that tampon thing was really interesting.
Yeah. What do you
and
mean?
And the lipstick thing.
About how he said that at age 50 you have, what is it, 50,000?
I think he said that. That's so scary.
Yeah.
That's scary, and I wanted him to give some other options as well. We'll have to email him too and ask him that and put something on the site. I could blog about it, but...
Yeah. You mean some alternatives options for tampons?
Right, whether they're just better, different quality, or whether he suggests not using them. And the makeup... lipstick. I'm just curious about what other options are for women like me who need these things and feel like we still have to use them. Just better alternatives. So, man, he's awesome. The guy is a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, he's really interesting. He's such a meticulous guy in terms of like parasites and toxic substances. And what about all that stuff about the nickel poisoning and the reason why people can't sleep? And what else did he say about nickel poisoning?
Oh, everything, didn't he?
Yeah.
Talks about, wasn't he saying that was in the makeup too, or the lipstick, or?
Yeah, I think he said it was in the lipstick.
Oh, I have so much going through my brain right now.
Yeah, he's really just cutting edge.
He's fascinating.
Yeah, he's got quite the six pack too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen him on YouTube or on the internet.
He's incredible.
Yeah, and coming from a guy that used to be somewhat healthy, but doing his chiropractic work and then getting in that car crash. I mean, talk about a guy that's completely rebuilt his body.
Yeah. I looked him up and images of him right before the show, and he's just incredible looking.
Yeah.
Obviously, and from the inside out, but whew.
Yeah, all that stuff sounds really interesting too. All the way he does the gua sha.
Yeah, what is that? I wasn't sure what that was.
I'm not sure what. I think I've heard about it for so long. I should know what it is. It's something to do with like, I think you either hit your skin with these rubber balls that are on the end of like this plastic piece, and you hold it, and I think you tap your, really hit your skin, and it doesn't bruise, but it really like. It does something to the skin. I think that's what gua sha is. If you know what that is, and I'm completely not accurate here, let me know. But
we could be making this up.
no, I feel like that's what I've heard about it. But interesting, he scrubs his skin and does the whole sauna thing, and
again,
cool.
Power of sweating and power of cleansing. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I'm always interested whenever you think about certain daily practices that you do. It's really interesting to me to kind of map those things out for years.
Yeah.
And when you think, if you do something for 30 years, what are the results? And and like we were talking about last show about how many pounds of sweat you would sweat out in 30 years if you use the sauna every day. If he sweats out pounds per hour, I mean,
things sure add up. I mean, whether it's sweating in a good way or tampons in a bad way when you're using bleach products or swallowing 3 gallons of lipstick, I think you said, over your lifetime.
Yeah.
It could go bad or good, but isn't that amazing? Little daily things that you make a choice. Because I recently replaced my mascara a couple of years ago. Stopped using petroleum-based mascara.
Oh, good.
It had tar, petroleum, all that stuff. It's incredible. I switched to more of a natural clay.
Oh, good.
But that kind of stuff, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but over years and years, I mean,
I know it's a big deal.
My gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you do that, and I mean, imagine how many ounces. I bet, you could, over 30 years, that could be maybe 2 full ounces of that stuff or 5 ounces.
Probably more, right?
That you would put it near your eyes, and over time, that just is a dampening thing on your immune system.
Oh man,
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, Dr. Cassar is good.
He's awesome. I love that interview.
Yeah, he was really, really fascinating. What else to get to? Anything else to get to? I think that's it, right?
Our garden's growing.
Our garden is growing. We should go look at it.
Yeah, let's go out there after this.
We'll
talk about that more on Free for All Friday, but man, I'm excited. I have a zucchini growing.
Did we find that stuff yet? The Vortex Brewer compost tea bag?
Gone.
We didn't find it?
Nope.
Okay, we'll have to get some more.
We got to order more, because I swear it's the reason why the zucchini's taking off. I know it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I can't wait.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. And I want to thank Mike Adams of naturalnewsradio.com for having us on his network.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I was just reading some of his articles on Natural News the other day. Let's see what else. If you'd like to join our mailing list, feel free to do that. We've got hundreds of subscribers on there, and it's growing every day. You can do that at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe. And I just kind of write different things to you about once a week, and don't want to bombard you in your email. Just different things we're doing, in regards to the show and things we're into. And then we've got a store with over 75 products.
75?
Yeah, over that.
That's a lot.
That's just really cool. Yeah. And
growing.
Yeah, we sell all kinds of different things, from workout programs to programs on how to ferment food, and pregnancy programs, which I think are just amazing. And then we also have physical products as well for things like the Juva Cleanse or the sauna we sell, and all kinds of different things like the Rebounder and the Bellicon Rebounder and this Relax Sauna, air purifiers, all kinds of great stuff for your house. So check out our store. And also, if you want to just donate, feel free. We could really, really use donations. That's a huge part of how we are keeping our show free. And it's quite a big way of just our whole model here is keeping it free for everybody. And a lot of times, if you think that $1 or $2 won't be much, please go ahead and send $1 or $2. That would be very, very great. It would be very, very helpful.
So helpful.
Yeah, and it'll help pay our bills. So if you have that would be great. But if not, that's okay. We just want to make sure it's free for everybody. So feel free to like us or like this show page and like us on Facebook and send our link to your friends. That would be another great way to support us as well. And also another cool thing that people have been doing lately is writing reviews on iTunes.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah, I think we have about 11 reviews now, and the more reviews we get, the more we'll be able to show up in the search results. So when people search for like alternative health or radio shows or podcasts, health podcasts in iTunes, we'll show up if we get more reviews. So.
Oh, we'd be so grateful.
Yeah,
that's huge.
We're getting quite a bit of activity from there. So if you're interested and that's all you can do, that would be so great if you could just leave us a review on iTunes.
Yes. And don't be too harsh. Just kidding.
Yeah, don't rip us a new one.
We're thankful for all the encouragement and support. We're super grateful to be able to be doing this. And excited about what's in the future.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can email me, Justin at extremehealthradio.com or Kate at extremehealthradio.com.
I'm waiting for my first email.
Yes, we need people to email.